All right, it has been a rough last 72 hours as far as altcoins go. Bitcoin has reached a level that it has not been able to break, right around here at 52,000. It keeps pushing down. It did yesterday and today, printing some red bars and kind of pushing down to 51,000. And we're watching this level right here between the top of these two wicks and the bottom of these two wicks over the last week. That's a level of roughly 50,300 and some change to 50,600. As you can see, over the past 2 days, we have fallen down to those levels, and price has rebounded toward the latter part of the day. But it just seems like the more Bitcoin tests those levels, the better chance there is of it falling below. And if it does fall below 50,000, of course, we're going to see this continued drifting down that we're seeing in Polkadot and that we're seeing across all of crypto. Right now, for me, the day has just started. As far as trading view showing the new day, you can see we're all red still, even in this short time. But yesterday, all of these altcoins were also red. DOT itself, and it's right around this on a short term basis, around this very critical level. And I mean short term. Anything I talk about right now when I'm talking about technical analysis for DOT is short term over the next few days / weeks. It is not talking about the long-term health of DOT moving on into 2024. But you can see this maroon area from about 7.3 to 7.6 has been a historical area where the market has reacted. Even here over the last few months, you can see each time the market got up to these levels, if price was below and reaching up, it acted as resistance and pushed it down. Once price did break the level, that maroon area acted as support and pushed price up. We went through a magnetic phase where we went up and down through that level a couple of times, and price never really got far from it. But once it finally made its push down, it went back up and tested it here in the latter part of January and spent about 3 or 4 days testing this level before it finally broke above 7.6. And things were looking great about 2 days ago. Now, I made a video talking about on the short term how good DOT was looking, because we had finally printed a green bar and closed above this very critical level. And actually, I think we closed above 8. What's the close there? Yep, just a touch above 8. So everything was looking good. But here's how I'm explaining what we're seeing right now today. This fantastic run up we've seen in Bitcoin tends to pull altcoins up over time. Okay, so as Bitcoin tends to go up, the altcoins tend over a few days after or a few weeks after. The altcoins don't move all in a group, they kind of randomly move. But as long as Bitcoin is going up a few days to a few weeks later, most quality altcoins will start moving upwards as well. And that's what we've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks. As Bitcoin has pushed higher, these altcoins have increased in value. The problem we have right now is Bitcoin has clearly leveled off at 52,000 or right around that area pretty much the last week. So these altcoins have lost their inertia as Bitcoin stalls. And the first place you'll see weakness in crypto is in these altcoins. It's kind of like being pulled or being tugged on the water. Once the lead boat stops, once you're no longer being pulled, you tend to drift back toward the current, the way the current was flowing. And for altcoins, often the current is down when there's nothing moving it up. Okay, so that kind of makes sense there. And that's why we're seeing a drift down across all of these coins right here, is because Bitcoin is just kind of stalled. Now, Bitcoin isn't dumping, it has just stalled. And so while Bitcoin is wrestling with its level of 51,000 roughly, these coins drift down and are challenging some of their critical levels as well. Do not be surprised. No, well, let me say it this way. First of all, do not be surprised at anything. I could literally wake up tomorrow morning and see Bitcoin at 54,000 or above. That could happen. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that that could happen. I could also wake up tomorrow morning and find Bitcoin below 50,000. Okay, that also could happen. Now, those aren't big ranges. Those are just a couple percentage points as far as Bitcoin is concerned. So you shouldn't be surprised if either of those happen. But my point is, what Bitcoin does is going to be reflected in these altcoins and be reflected in DOT. If we wake up tomorrow and we see Bitcoin at 54,000, of course, that after a few days will pull these altcoins up. We might reject off this maroon level right here, and DOT may start its move up higher. That could happen. But if Bitcoin dumps 50,000, it's going to dump, but DOT's going to dump below this maroon level and start aiming for the next level of resistance, which for me, I've got charted here at about 6.6 roughly. It's an art, it's not a science, it's not an exact place Bitcoin or DOT would stop, but it gives you a rough area from level to level to give you an idea of where Bitcoin, or excuse me, where DOT may go. And again, it's based on these historic levels where you can see the market opened or closed or had a high or had a low. Here's a low right here at that level, almost a low at that level, almost a low at the level. And so we've got a kind of a range. You could actually include this entire range from 6.3 to 6.6 as another area of support that DOT may fall to if Bitcoin starts heading down. If you have been watching my videos, you will understand that I have been talking about the halving coming up in April. Okay, the halving is estimated to happen on April 20th right now. That's what this line right here on the time graph indicates. Historically, I'll review this real quick, although it's in my other videos as well. Historically, the price action for Bitcoin before a halving is to have a run up, which we've clearly had since January 23rd. And then about 6 weeks before the halving, you start seeing a retrace from the highs of Bitcoin, a 10, 20, 30, sometimes 40% retrace. I do not think we'll see a 40% retrace right now. I think the market's got too much money coming in through these ETFs. It's too powerful of a market right now. But a 20% fall seems reasonable to me. Not saying it will happen. I'm just saying by the historical fashion of previous halving cycles, it could. If that does happen, Bitcoin will end up in this 40 to 45,000 level, and we will consolidate generally through that level through the halving until after a few weeks to a few months after the halving, Bitcoin will take off, and thus will begin the official bull run of Bitcoin. That's all the historical activity that we've seen Bitcoin follow through the halving cycle. So people are starting to ask questions. The Wolf of Wall Street, someone that I follow, you can look up his video on YouTube. It should be posted now. But the Wolf of Wall Street posted earlier today. He asked, Bitcoin is correcting. Is the pre-halving top in, or is there more upside to come, and how far can Bitcoin correct? He did talk about in this video, and it's probably worth a listen. I haven't listened to it, but I know he's asking the same question many of us are also asking, and he's asking this since we're seeing this softness at the top of this level. Is this the top of the run before we see the halving retrace? And you can see here, Bitcoin Archive posted that Bitcoin is up 37% in 21 days. And generally, when you see something move up that quickly, that far, you'll expect a pullback from all technical measures, including RSI and MACD and all those things that people tend to look at as far as basic technical analysis. You would see, if you put them on this chart, that Bitcoin is extended and would be calling for a retrace back toward the mean. So all that is to say, there is a chance that Bitcoin is going to fall. If it does, do not panic. If it does, it will bring down DOT and other altcoins. And like I've already mentioned, this level from about 6.3 to 6.6 on DOT, that is the level we will watch. If you are in DOT for the long term, do not panic. We are, at least I am in crypto for the long term through 2024 and into 2025, just depending how the markets are behaving, how Bitcoin is behaving. But we, the crypto community, are expecting this bull run to start after the halving and go on through 24 and 25. And I might not even say start. We might already be in the bull run, but we'll definitely continue on after the halving. And hopefully we will be breaking all-time highs sometime in 2024 for Bitcoin and continuing on. So if that happens, these short-term fluctuations should not affect you for DOT if you're in it for the long term. Do not get shaken out. Do not get terribly nervous. Unless you are over leveraged or have money into the market that you should not have and it's causing you distress, then you should be patient and wait. And that's what I am planning to do. That is my strategy for crypto right now, is to wait. And Lady of Crypto, a lady that I do follow on Twitter as well, simply says the same thing. Don't overcomplicate the next 18 months. Your job is to accumulate, hold, and take profit heavily in 2025. Why take profit heavily in 2025? Because generally, after the halving, the bull run lasts for 12 to 18 months. And then Bitcoin will retrace quite a bit, thus bringing altcoins back down. That's a different discussion for a different time. Right now, short term, for your interest and knowledge, this is the levels that you need to be watching in DOT. It's all based on Bitcoin. So understand what the market is doing, but don't let it affect your behavior. If you have a plan and if your plan is to hold, be sure to do that. If you're new to crypto, new to trading, getting into the markets for the first time and have been promised billions of dollars, I say that facetiously, but we all want to make money. Your job now, again, is to wait and hold. And that's what we'll do together, as I'll keep an eye on DOT for you as the market progresses. All right, that's my update on DOT. Be sure to subscribe if you liked it. I will catch you next time.